Watch MLB legends and stars tee off in the inaugural Capital One MLB Open at Shadow Creek. Beautiful course. November 18th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on TNT and streaming on HBO Max. Go to MLB.com/golf for more details. You know who loves golf? Danny Ainge loves golf, and he went to BYU. Now, Kevin Willard is trying to get a hole-in-one in his first season, but AJ Dybansta is like hitting into the bunker for your first game. Dybantsa drives to the cup, lays it in. His first bucket as a BYU Cougar. Then dropping it off there, gets the rebound, puts it right back up. BYU with a 16-8 lead. This BYU team went to the Sweet 16, Coach. They have a lot of potential beyond just Dybantsa.
They do, and I think the biggest thing they had to make progress in was their defense. And Keba Keita, he needs to be on the floor because he makes a big, big difference for them protecting the rim. I think coaches can be happy with their defense, not as happy with their offense.
Yeah, Villanova had a good game plan, slowing the game down, hitting some threes, and there's your guy.
The man from Mali. Send it in.
It really is crazy. You look at the stat line, it's not that big, but it felt like he had an impact on every single play, including swatting shots in the front row.
Well, he's going to have an impact on every single play because he's going to have to set the tone defensively, especially in the paint area for the BYU Cougars.
And that's why you want all of the information and analytics, but stats are overrated. And his stat line tonight is a perfect example of that because he was dominant, getting loose balls, blocking shots, setting screens, doing a lot of things that don't even show up in a stat sheet.
How about this? Before the game, no one thought Nova had a chance, and then they have a late lead in the second half, and that's when Dybantsa came alive, Coach. Driving, floating, making plays happen. BYU starting to pull away.
Well, that middle ball screen, see Keita seal the help and giving AJ a lane to be able to get closer to the rim. That's a very, very common play. Some people may call that displacement or an offensive foul, but as long as Keita looks like he wants the ball, BYU went to that play over and over down the stretch, and they really did a nice job with it offensively.
So 21-6-3, right? The other big acquisition from Baylor, 14 points in this one. Mash, what do you take away from your first time watching Dybantsa play?
Isn't that amazing? We're talking about college players or we're talking about acquisitions?
Yes.
But that's the reality that we live in right now. And for a young man to step into this particular game with all the lights on him, score 21 points. Sometimes he looked a little bit rattled and different things like that. He needed to really be patient, but overall, his talent and his skill set is undeniable. He can finish at the rim. He played unselfish with his teammates, and I think that's what it's going to come down to for the BYU Cougars. He's going to have to be a decoy on some nights and really get other players involved, and that will open up a lot of things for himself. But he's a willing passer. He's a guy that understands the game. He's a guy that wants to get better. It seems like to me that he really enjoys playing the game and playing with his teammates. So he's going to be a special talent for college basketball.
And I like watching him navigate at 6'8", bringing the ball up the floor, the difference between moving like a point guard or like a forward that's handling the ball.
Yeah.
That's what he's going to figure out as the season goes on, and college basketball is going to be in trouble. But the next thing is someone else may be right, make the game easier for him. If you notice, when you're looking at all of those highlights, he's creating all of them. Imagine if somebody else could get the outlet and he could run the wing in a 3-on-2 break and then all of a sudden make the game easier for him as well. That's going to come as the season progresses.
Well, also, too, in the Big 12, once he gets around the Big 12 and people start having film on him, they're going to start taking some things away. So he's going to have counters, and his teammates are going to be they're going to need to really show up in that particular moment, especially on the road for a young college kid.
And we learned from Coach in his conversation there with Andy Katz, Saunders was vomiting all day, apparently. So one of their best players, their most experienced players, did not feel great. He'll be a bigger point. But Keita, I think, was the story. I think Keita showed today he could be a valuable energy piece when the team needs a lift.
Absolutely. And the way the officiating referees the rim, and they referee that verticality. When guys can move over there and get established and get big at the rim, it makes those twos really, really tough. But here's Keita, the big fellow, running the floor, putting pressure on the rim. One thing that Coach Willard told me is they've got to do a great job getting back in transition. They did for the most part. Hey, Villanova slowed the tempo of this game down, and they gave themselves a fighting chance. But when the big fella is changing shots and intimidating shots at the rim, they're going to need that in the Big 12. And that was one of the things that I think he's got a chance to be one of the most improved players in the Big 12 this year.
When you have a guy that brings that kind of an energy, does it make it easier to coach the rest of the team?
I think you can expose toughness. It's hard to teach, you know, and soft teams don't win championships. They just don't, and that's why older teams are the ones that are picked to be able to win. So, you know, it was a good start for BYU. I was also impressed with Villanova. The fact that they hung in there for so long, they're picked in the middle of the Big East. Coach Willard is doing a really, really nice job. Give those kids a little confidence. BYU just too big. They just got switching on the perimeter too much. And if it wasn't for Villanova missing shots and chasing some of those 50-50 balls, they had like 30-second chance points.
Yeah.
Long shots, long rebounds. BYU's going to have to tighten that up.
All right, so we've seen your last place. We've talked about Kentucky. You want to watch some Michigan highlights?
Absolutely.
Let's see how they did. They had a big UAB transfer as well. Yaxel Lendeberg getting ready to go. Let's jump in the midst of a 20-0 run for Michigan.
Absolutely, playing at home, in front of the home fans, putting on a show. And the one thing about Michigan this year, as I mentioned in the pregame, a legitimate chance to win it all. And I say that because the squad is strong at every level. Backcourt, on the wings, on the interior, we have a go-to player, we have a terrific coach. I believe it's our year to cut down the nets.
Michigan scored 69 points in the first half, their most ever and a half in Michigan history. They hit 19 threes and won by 43, a good tone setter for the season.
And I like the fact that Dusty's one of those coaches, if we got you down 20, we're going to get you down 30. I appreciate that because that's actually, when coaches talking about toughness, that actually is what it takes. When you find a way to take it from 10 to 20, 20 to 30.
You're hearing good things from Ann Arbor right
Absolutely.
now? You got your people with the ears open listening?
Absolutely. I'm a
right
season ticket holder, too, and they let me buy them.
They let you buy them.
You put that black card down?
They said, we did enough for Jalen in the 90s. Let him buy these tickets. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so you could be our live reporter in Michigan for some games?
Yes, I got it.
All right, I dig it. A few more highlights to get to as we look around college basketball. It's a celebration, a holiday. Welcome back to College Basketball America. We got you covered on TNT.